Russian ATGM teams pushed into Krasnohorivka, certain their firepower would devastate Ukrainian armor, unaware that a devastating counter-ambush awaited them. At 06:10 hours, within the ruins of the Shakhtarska complex, 3 Russian ATGM crews deployed Kornet and Metis-M systems, establishing concealed firing positions. Each system capable of destroying any armored vehicle within a kilometer engagement range, targeting Ukrainian reinforcement corridors west of Donetsk. Concealed behind collapsed concrete debris, 2 Ukrainian sniper teams maintained static positions for 3 hours, embedded deep within the rubble, armed with precision sniper rifles zero to perfection, the sole defense standing between Russian ATGMs and a full mechanized company operating in their rear overhead. Reconnaissance UAV maintained surveillance, tracking all hostile movements, yet the engagement order remained pending within seconds. If the ATGMs established firing solutions, Ukrainian armor routes would be compromised, and the entire sector risked catastrophic losses. Russian forces assumed tactical dominance, but Ukraine had prepared a counterstrike. The instant all ATGMs entered the designated kill zone, the snipers executed their shots. UAVs initiated attack runs, and the ambush commenced. The fate of those 3 Russian ATGM teams, and how the northern Krasnohorivka sector transformed within minutes. Subscribe and stay engaged until the tactical analysis is complete. Dawn fog shrouded the Krasnohorivka perimeter, west of Donetsk, where devastated structures and shell craters from sustained combat had reduced the terrain to rubble fields. This marked the buffer zone between Ukrainian defenses and Russian units advancing toward Marinka. The previous night, Russian artillery conducted heavy bombardment against Ukrainian mechanized assets. Rotating westward, 2 APCs destroyed at the old intersection, near the abandoned industrial sector. The message was clear. Artillery served as the opening phase. ATGM deployment would inevitably follow. Russian primary method for interdicting Ukrainian maneuver routes. In semi-urban terrain like Krasnohorivka, a Kornet or Metis-M could penetrate any remaining APC or IFV in sector. Should Russia secure the elevated terrain near the destroyed brick factory westward, they would command direct observation over the sole route Ukraine could utilize for armored resupply toward Marinka. With ATGMs positioned there, all Ukrainian maneuver capability would be neutralized, forcing infantry operations without armor support. An unacceptable scenario for already overextended forces. Ukrainian intelligence corroborated this assessment. From midnight, R-18 reconnaissance UAVs detected incremental movements east of Krasnohorivka. 3 groups transporting elongated tubular equipment, infiltrating through deep artillery craters. They bypassed primary roads, navigated collapsed structures, selecting routes concealed from Ukrainian observation. Thermal imaging confirmed identification. Heat signatures matched ATGM launch systems and tripods. Equipment consistent with standard Russian anti-tank formations. Critically, UAV surveillance indicated movement toward the collapsed Shakhtarska apartment complex, a partially intact elevated position, suitable for establishing a dominant ATGM firing nest. The Ukrainian commander assessed the situation, rapidly concluding they would advance to optimal range. ATGMs avoid extended engagement distances in this terrain. The tactical decision: let them enter the trap. Operation Blind Spear was immediately activated, a designated mission designed to eliminate ATGMs before deployment, prior to establishing launch positions. From 03, they, 2 Satantanuth Brigade sniper teams departed defensive lines, infiltrating through rubble corridors to prepared positions. Firing positions selected based on 3 criteria: optimal 400 to 800 meter range toward Shakhtarska, stable east-west wind conditions, and concealment from Russian aerial surveillance. Patrolling the operational area, At dawn, their concealment was rudimentary: rubble and debris, camouflage netting, and mud, blending into the urban chaos. Each marksman established a firing aperture through damaged apartment walls, fractured roofing, or gaps between collapsed concrete slabs. Weapons stabilized on improvised sandbag rests, maintaining absolute stillness for extended duration. Above the R-18 UAV operated at low altitude, near silent, mapping every potential ATGM tripod emplacement. The corner of Shakhtarska's collapsed wall, shell crater adjacent to the former parking area, or the elevated roof edge near drainage infrastructure. Additionally, identifying enemy withdrawal routes, should they disperse under fire. All imagery transmitted directly to sniper handheld devices. The UAV relayed initial movement detection. Russian military footwear identified at the edge of a collapsed structure, on the slope approaching Shakhtarska, precisely at the anticipated location. Snipers immediately acquired the target. However, command transmission came through, clear and direct. Hold fire, insufficient penetration depth. Allow them to fully enter the engagement zone. Remaining ATGM groups converged rapidly on the position. Snipers maintained trigger discipline, regulating breathing patterns. The ambush was set. The enemy remained unaware. Each step into Krasnohorivka brought them closer to the point of no return. 10. The first ATGM team emerged from sparse tree cover, east of Krasnohorivka. 3 operators equipped as predicted, one bearing the tripod, another carrying the Kornet tube, the third transporting the missile container. Secured with standard canvas strapping, their advance was deliberate, short movements, pausing to verify corners before proceeding. Movement pattern slow, methodical, disciplined, maintaining tactical dispersion, indicating experienced ATGM operators, not standard infantry personnel. Every action oriented toward one objective: securing the optimal firing position on western high ground. The remaining Shakhtarska complex structure, commanding the Ukrainian approach corridor toward Marinka. The UAV maintained orbit, identifying additional elements. 2 more ATGM teams approaching from separate axes. One element skirting the northern slope, another advancing along the drainage channel. Minimum 9 to 10 personnel with 3 launch systems. Notably, they advanced in dual formation, splitting into distinct attack prongs. A flanking element via the drainage route to threaten Ukrainian flanks, and a main frontal assault, led by the first team to seize elevated terrain directly. The formation indicated coordinated tactics, with planned crossfire upon engagement. On the ground, Ukrainian snipers observed the lead team establishing tripod on fractured concrete. A single shot could destroy the first system before alignment. But as one sniper initiated trigger pressure, the commander's voice came through. Calm but absolute. Negative. Engage only when all targets enter the kill zone. The rationale was evident. Premature engagement would allow other teams to scatter or withdraw before Ukraine could achieve target lock. Mission objective was not single elimination, but simultaneous destruction of all 3 teams. The sniper slowly released held breath, reduced heart rate, maintained observation. The first ATGM team deployed desert pattern camouflage netting, clearing a small ground section, mounting the Kornet tube onto the tripod. One operator assumed prone position, engaging the optic range finding toward the damaged bridge, where Ukrainian vehicles might transit. Remaining teams established internal communications, the final step before achieving full combat readiness. Only minor adjustments separated them from firing capability. The snipers monitored through magnified optics. One marksman had maintained target acquisition for 12 minutes. A wind shift deposited fine debris from cracked walls onto his shoulder, yet he remained motionless. In combat, such discipline is exceptional, but essential for guaranteeing mission success. Overhead, the R-18 continued surveillance operations. The drone team marked 3 enemy withdrawal corridors, The passage behind the collapsed structure, a gap between artificial concrete formations, and the drainage ditch extending eastward. When the final ATGM team crossed the ditch, the drone transmitted all ATGMs within engagement zone. Tension on the ground intensified. A Russian positioned the second Kornet tube on its mount, securing the locking mechanism. The loader accessed the missile crate, extracted the warhead, preparing for insertion. The operator assumed firing position, eye to optic, oriented westward, directly targeting the route Ukraine must defend. Seconds remained before launch capability, threatening the entire mechanized defensive line. Then, in that critical moment of maximum tension, the Ukrainian commander issued one directive, low but decisive. Team 1, engage. The first round exited the barrel, virtually simultaneous with the commander's order. The projectile penetrated the Kornet sighting unit, destroying the complete optical assembly and striking the operator fatally. Without guidance, the missile became inoperable. The entire crew neutralized in one moment. As the operator collapsed, a second round from Sniper Team 2 followed, immediately striking the loader over the missile container. The crate ruptured, missiles scattered across fractured concrete, and the Russian soldier fell. Without comprehending the situation, another Russian broke from cover, attempting to sprint behind a collapsed wall, but a sniper round impacted from knee to chest, dropping him instantly to the ground. Before echoes subsided, the second ATGM team panicked, attempting to rotate their tube toward muzzle flash locations, hoping to engage the suspected sniper positions. But as the tripod rotated several degrees, a Ukrainian FPV UAV dove from concealment and struck directly into the tripod base. A sharp detonation sounded. The tripod disintegrated. The launch tube toppled and rolled into debris. That entire crew instantly lost combat effectiveness. The tube carrier was thrown backward. The spotter collapsed onto concrete rubble, exploiting the chaos. A Ukrainian assault team advanced precisely, penetrating darkness. 3 soldiers moved in staggered tactical formation, providing mutual cover between collapsed structures. They deployed fragmentation grenades into the corner, where one ATGM team attempted to withdraw into abandoned structures. For concealment, the blast resonated. Concrete fragments scattered, and immediately after, Ukrainian soldiers advanced, engaging remaining hostile targets at close quarters. Russians concealed beneath flooring attempted resistance, but suppressive fire was overwhelming. They never achieved effective return fire. Simultaneously, the reconnaissance UAV identified one intact ATGM beside a tarp-covered vehicle behind the ruined structure. The drone descended, maneuvering through a collapsed entrance, and detected movement beneath the covering. Imagery clearly showed a Russian soldier lifting the launch tube to his shoulder, attempting to escape toward the drainage ditch. The drone team responded immediately. An FPV penetrated the tarp directly and detonated, mere centimeters from the target. The vehicle erupted in smoke. The final ATGM system was eliminated. When all explosions ceased, snipers conducted sector sweeps through their optics, scanning for surviving movement. None detected. The assault team reached consolidation point and transmitted brief radio confirmation. No ATGMs operational. Remaining evidence included broken tripods, destroyed launch tubes, unfired missiles, and scattered debris. Aftermath of the rapid precision strike. Ukraine eliminated all 3 ATGM teams within minutes, defeating Russian plans to interdict the Krasnohorivka route before they could materialize. While smoke from the initial ambush still lingered, the reconnaissance UAV detected additional activity north of sector. 2 more ATGM teams ascending the slope toward a wooded ridge, previously an old Ukrainian defensive emplacement. The terrain was elevated, steep, commanding the town center. If ATGMs occupied it, they could dominate every Ukrainian armor access route. At the moment the UAV transmitted the warning, a 4-man soft reconnaissance element nearby concealed among burned tree trunks. Received the data and executed standard protocol. Assess threat. Confirm enemy strength. Determine direct engagement feasibility. Analyzing drone imagery. The SOF team immediately recognized the situation. This second element significantly exceeded the 3 teams previously destroyed. Minimum 6 to 7 personnel in proper fireteam organization. 2 carrying launch systems. 1 with missile container. 1 manning a PKM. 1 equipped with Dragunov. And 2 additional personnel bearing 60mm light mortars. This was not a small detachment, but a combined ATGM fire support element designed for area denial. The primary challenge for SOF was the terrain configuration. No viable low-angle sniper positions. Insufficient overhead concealment for thermal masking. No flanking approach available. Without detection by the Dragunov marksman. Once ATGMs established tripods with southern orientation, the SOF team would be caught in optimal kill zone. New protective positions, new cover, no reaction time, immediate report transmitted, unfavorable conditions. Tactical withdrawal recommended. Authorization granted immediately. Within 45 seconds, the SOF team extracted diagonally west, where substantial tree cover obscured line of sight. They moved in short, controlled bounds, leaving no visible tracks on damp terrain. A smoke grenade deployed into vegetation gaps, creating visual obscuration, sufficient to mask movement without excessive signature. They progressed beneath canopy, avoiding all potential firing lines. The slow position Dragunov could utilize. Once SOF cleared the danger zone, destruction of the second ATGM element was assigned exclusively to tactical drones. Sniper engagement was impractical in this terrain. And additional personnel would only create more targets. The UAV team elected to attack from upwind, the approach ATGMs would least anticipate. With drones experience reduced stability. But that very unpredictability rendered them nearly undetectable to hostile observation. One FPV UAV descended rapidly, striking the vehicle transporting ATGM missile containers. Concealed behind dense vegetation, the detonation destroyed the containers. Fragmentation impacting the entire ATGM crew meters away. The northern slope descended into immediate chaos. 1 casualty down, 2 others rolled into cover seeking protection. A Russian attempted to re-establish the launch tube, intending to reposition the tripod to maintain engagement. But a Ukrainian mini-drone, compact and quiet, nearly silent, circled around and impacted directly into his back. A small detonation. The soldier pitched forward, the tube sliding down slope into a crater at the base. The final ATGM operator discarded his optic, attempting to escape down a narrow trail into the valley. But the reconnaissance UAV tracked him persistently, maintaining target lock until another FPV launched, interdicting his escape route and completing the elimination. When combat concluded, the entire northern sector was secured for Ukrainian armor and infantry operations. No ATGM remained to obstruct advances. No heavy fire could disrupt resupply to western Marinka positions. Elevated positions Russia had used were verified clear and reoccupied by SOF and drone assets within minutes. At this juncture, the complete operational picture in Krasnohorivka emerged. Russia's entire ATGM offensive, both the primary formation and northern reserve element, had been eliminated at inception. Not a single launch tube achieved firing. No Ukrainian position was compromised. And most critically, all threats to mechanized routes were neutralized, creating a rare tactical opportunity for Ukraine to actively counter Russian offensive operations. That day, ATGMs remain among the most lethal threats on the contemporary battlefield. A single, well-positioned Kornet or Metis-M can halt an armored company, fracture maneuver formations, and collapse counterattack planning instantly. But ATGM operational requirements create inherent vulnerability. they require static positioning, tripod deployment, optic activation, target acquisition, and sustained line of sight for seconds, all factors making them optimal targets for UAVs and snipers. If detected first, the Krasnohorivka engagement demonstrated this conclusively. For over 2 hours, Ukrainian snipers fired no rounds. They remained motionless among rubble and debris. Awaiting the precise moment, all 3 ATGM teams entered the kill zone. When that moment arrived, only 3 or 4 shots fired, but each proved decisive. That absolute discipline transformed a potentially devastating threat into targets eliminated within minutes. At strategic level, this engagement demonstrates Ukraine's 3-tier coordination: UAVs, snipers, and SOF becoming the standard anti-ATGM doctrine. UAVs conduct reconnaissance, mapping all approaches. Snipers deliver precision, long-range elimination without close engagement risk. SOF provide battlefield stabilization, executing timely withdrawal to avoid enemy engagement envelopes, and reoccupying key terrain immediately post-combat. Through this integration, ATGM systems, Russia's primary counter to Ukrainian armor, are neutralized before achieving operational status. The Russian ATGM teams entered Krasnohorivka, confident they would interdict all Ukrainian movement. But every step was monitored from above. Every position was documented, and their entire plan collapsed. At the decisive moment when the fire order came, Ukrainian snipers executed a near-perfect ambush, eliminating both ATGM elements within minutes. A precise, rapid, and methodical victory, proving in modern warfare, the force that collects intelligence first, exercises patience, and waits for the optimal moment achieves dominance, while forces acting on momentum recognize the trap only when escape is impossible. Thank you for watching until the conclusion. If you found this analysis valuable, please subscribe. See you in upcoming episodes with the most compelling and authentic battlefield analyses.